Good evening, friends and family. Thank you for coming to another Wednesday night to support, repair, restore, and grow Black communities. As you know, we are working very hard to help save Black communities here in Chicago. Our problems are so massive, but we have chosen to address the problem by supporting our Black businesses because we know that our Black businesses provide jobs, they provide opportunities for other entrepreneurs, they serve as role models, and they're also more likely to circulate dollars back into our communities. And that's what we need, our dollars to circulate. So tonight on Wednesdays, we have a podcast, and that is to give our businesses a voice and for you to have an opportunity to know that we have Black businesses out here, and we want you to support these businesses, and we want our businesses to support other Black businesses so that that dollar continues to circulate. We're also waging a campaign to support our Black bookstores. As you know, we once had over 23 Black bookstores in Chicago area, and now there are only 3 or 4. And we need to read. We need to read so that we can come to our own understanding about what's going on with our condition, with our history, and strategies, so that when you have your own opinions and not necessarily looking to other people to tell you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, why to do it, you have the mind to come up with your own ideas. And this is helped through reading. So we want you to support our Black bookstores. And tonight we will be announcing our book giveaway, the winner of our book giveaway for the end of this month. So without any further commentary, I want to bring Behind Black Business with Gregory Sane. We have a wonderful guest tonight. This person that you will be listening to understands collective work and responsibility, because this person has been working in the community for a number of years, making the sacrifices that are necessary to move forward. So again, I want to thank you for coming. And here is Gregory Sane in our new podcast, Behind Black Businesses. Thank you.
Hey. Before you leave, Denise, I always want to say that it is always an honor for you to, when you talk with that beautiful, divine tone, our community need to know that this is not about just revving our people up with emotional triggers, because there are a lot of things that we are as a community very unhappy about. But folks who are out there listening, Denise and Doris Lewis, the founders of this great organization, are speaking not just from the heart, but these are what you call true liberators. These are what you call true abolitionists, true fighters, strugglers, so that our people and our communities with businesses and other products can survive. So thank you, Denise. And we're gonna, before the end of the show, we all come back on and do our little round table as we do. But thank you. So tonight, folks, I am honored to really have this great opportunity that we're going to talk with a brother that is a true entrepreneur, and he has Eliyahdah Ben Tsadik. And this brother can tell you a lot about himself, how he got started, etc. But he is the owner of it. That's Vegan Soul, right, brother?
Got it.
Soul Vegan.
Soul Vegan.
Soul. And listen, anything not soul is real soul food. Because soul food should be healthy food.
Absolutely. Good
and
for
when
the
they were
soul,
talking about
sure.
soul music, soul food, but no, this is the true soul food, man. We are so honored that you joined us tonight. And folks out there really need to know. We want to first talk about you and how you got started, and then we could talk about this whole vegan, vegetarian movement, and how you got involved, because it takes a lot. One thing to open up a business, is another thing to open up a business where you open up the minds of our people to do something different. So good evening, brother. How you feel?
I feel excellent. I feel blessed to be present with you and with all the people with your organization. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to come here and talk about what we do.
Yes, sir. So give us a little history of who you are and how you got involved with this whole movement of cooking vegan food and eating vegan food, etc.
So absolutely, first and foremost, definitely want to give glory to the creator that puts great ideas in our minds and puts us on a direction and a path of positivity, and be able to have opportunities to affect our people in the proper manner and in the positive direction. And that being said, when I started on this journey, it was first coming into a spirituality conversation and way of life that introduced veganism to me. It just so happened my inclination and my pursuit was starting to take me that direction, and then all of a sudden I came into a particular teaching, a particular passage in the scripture.
What year was that?
This was in 94. 1994. Ran into a couple of brothers that told me about we just started talking. We started dialoguing, started talking about spirituality, and that premise of a diet or a positive diet became central in that conversation. In the process of talking about spirituality, spirituality has gotten a misnomer to mean just religion, but in reality, from my understanding of it, it's a way of it encompasses all aspects of life, whether it be health, whether it be economics, whether it be basically what you guys are doing, all aspect of positive community, positive ecology of people, to be able to thrive in a positive manner and grow. So the food aspect of it got introduced, part of it, and I'm actually originally, when I met this brother, it was in Wisconsin. I was in Wisconsin at the time, Madison, Wisconsin, 1994. Just finished college, trying to figure out what to do with my life. Met him, and he decided to come to Chicago because he had met a community or people. And I got involved with a restaurant called Soul Vegetarian Restaurant that is central in the south side of Chicago. Worked there for a number of years. Had a chance to meet the good folks like Sister Denise. Saw her daughter go from little girl that a grown person that I see her now. Every time I see her, it amazes me. But so from there, slowly evolved into a small part of the business, and then it grew into what it is now.
Really? So you were in college in Wisconsin?
Well, to rewind back a little bit even further than that, because I feel like it's part of the journey. I feel like my entire life has been on some type of journey, because I'm originally from Ethiopia, and my father came to Wisconsin throughout his path, taking his family with us. Ended up in Wisconsin. Went to college in Wisconsin finished my college there in a small town. I lived in Madison, but I went to a college in a small town in Wisconsin. And then after that, finished college, is trying to figure out where my life is going to go next. And here we are.
How many restaurants do you have?
So To talk about our business, Soul Vegan, we do not have any restaurant as of
Oh, you
yet.
have products that are in stores. So I know you in that's right. Bon Santé, Sunrise, and now you in Whole Foods.
In Whole Foods. So what happened was, as we were working in Soul Vegetarian Restaurant, one of the things that everybody always said was, when are you guys going to open a restaurant in our neighborhood? Where are you going to come? You should come over this way. You should come over that way. So what we decided to do is that we start putting some of our products, some of the better products, a couple of sandwiches at the time, into some health food stores at the time. So this dates back to about 94, where veganism and vegetarianism had been known. As a matter of fact, proud to say that a large part of the central theme of veganism and vegetarianism was strengthened in our community right here on the South Side. And then, so we started reaching out to other people. It was very little people that are willing to receive it. So the main places that we went into were health food stores. So from the health food stores, got into a couple of bookstores. One of the main number one place that we got into is a health food store that still exists on 95th Street called Southtown. Pretty decent. Matter of fact, a sister's name that's in there that works in the juice bar's name. Her name is Denise. No, I'm sorry. D, I call her. I forget if it's Denise or no, it's Denise. Right, but we call her, Sister D. She's in the juice bar, so she kind of kept us relevant in Southtown. So it was between Soul Vegetarians, Southtown, and slowly after that, we expanded our product lines to meet the demand and the requests, and we were predominantly on the South Side.
Wow. So now at one health food store versus the other, I love Sunrise. I mean, I'm down the street from Bon Santé, and so I know Chris, and I know Don.
Okay, yeah, Don's a good guy.
Yeah. I know them, and it's interesting. I know the people some of the people at Whole Foods, but for me, I had an opportunity to meet Al Kanan, Prince Asiel, when the restaurant was the size of a matchbox,
right?
When it was very small,
right?
And man, I used to go crazy. Did you make that cornbread? No. Who made that cornbread, brother? Who made that cornbread? But look, the products are so good. So tell me, what are some of the products that you have in these stores? And people have some issues. I wouldn't say issues, but educate us too about the nutritional value. I mean, we won't even talk about pricing, but educate us on your product and how it really benefits us, healthy, etc.
So going back to what I was saying earlier about the component of spirituality being what you eat, what you put in your body makes up who you are. And our product, especially dating back to about whether it be the 90s or 80s or even beyond, even though, quote unquote, there's some health nuts that actually knew the benefit of veganism, we decided by the way, Soul Vegan, after we came out of Soul Vegetarian, and we decided to take the component where we try to reach out to people at large or where they are. And the idea behind Soul Vegan is that we're like a gateway into people's health. Mm-hmm. So what we do is we meet you where you are, meaning we created a lot of comfort foods like the lasagna, the mac and cheese, barbecue delights, which is a vegan rib tips, and even a carrot salad that tastes kind of like a vegan tuna. And
I had it before,
and then the kale salad. The kale salad is pretty popular. So we created these too. We created these products that that allowed people to understand that, number one, food can taste good. It doesn't have to. It's not just lettuce and tomatoes. It's not. Number two, as you're eating this and as you're realizing that you can satisfy yourself by eating vegan food, then your mind takes over, your spirit takes over, and starts requesting directly from you that you need to make some changes in your life. So we allow people to take back the control of what they put in their diet, and effectively pretty much put the power of starting to affect their health in their own hands. And ultimately, that's the main case, is that through your nutrition, you can actually affect your health and your mindset,
Oh,
and
I
in
agree.
turn your environment.
I agree. I agree. So your foods, like I know in Bon Santé, is right over there by the juice bar. That was very clever. We over there waiting on the juice and turn around and we see all these wonderful products right there. And I just started picking them up.
Well, actually, just to correct it, and I do love Bon Santé, and some of
But yours is not there?
ours is not in Bon Santé. We used to be in Bon Santé, but Bon Santé started producing in-house.
Oh, okay.
And actually, a good friend of ours, one of the sisters that used to work with us, works there now. So some of the same good food is in there.
So don't look. We're not gonna give nobody no free shout out.
So Hyde Park Produce, we're in, right down the street in Hyde Park Produce.
Oh, your stuff is in Hyde Park Produce.
It's in Hyde Park Produce, which is right down the street from Bon Santé. We're in the Whole Foods right down the street.
Okay.
Before the pandemic at the University of Chicago, we were in about 4 cafes in the University of Chicago. That in Hyde Park, we pretty much had a nice little. You go anywhere. You were in a bookstore up in the university as well. So we were.
You have a lot of vegans over there at University of Chicago.
University of Chicago.
A lot of vegans.
And it hit over the years, last 3-4 years, there's been a nice bump in the whole vegan community with the vegan awareness, especially the bigger companies like Beyond Meat that came out, and they got enough national exposure that just brought the whole concept of veganism on a central stage. A lot of mainstream restaurants are picking up the Beyond Burger, therefore the conversation. And then if you go anywhere now, veganism is
it's huge.
It's
huge.
there,
But you were a cook, right? You started off as a cook.
I used to work in the back in Solvay, but it's been a long time. We got much better cooks right now. They can throw down. So
but you got into this industry doing what?
I used to work in the back as a short cook in Soul Vegetarian restaurants. So I kind of got started.
Were you cooking food before vegetarian food?
When I was in college, when we had when you have no money and then we had to scrape together $3 and I didn't want to eat pizza, I was the guy that found the onion and this and that, and for $3, about 5 of us ate real good. That was me. So I'm not a cook, but you give me $4 and an onion, I'm good.
You said $4 and
$3 and an onion,
Bro,
there.
That's how we survived in Mississippi, in Alabama, and Memphis, Tennessee, and in the South. People. When they eat like that, it's like you need to tweak this and tweak that, etc. Man, that's how we survive.
Absolutely. You got a couple of right ingredients, and you know what to do. Do you stick with that one? It's like when you do pickup ball, you got that one move that everybody always knows that you're gonna do. That was.
So me. What stores or what areas do you do better? I mean, your products move faster.
Well, when we started off, was the South Side. Obviously, they knew our food, they knew our brand. So we had just kind of give you a background of our growth spurt. So out of Soul Vegetarian restaurant, people used to come there quite a bit. They knew our food. So one of the buyers in Whole Foods came down there, and he's seen our products in some of the stores. So he asked for it. So he brought us into Whole Foods. So, as a matter of fact, I claim the fame of actually making having an impetus of Whole Foods being so large with the vegan market now. At the time, they were kind of a niche, but they didn't have that many vegan products. So they brought us in. I think what was it about? I'd say about 20. I want to say 11, 10 or something like that, about a few years back, and they brought us in Whole Foods. They gave us an order. We got down there. We barely just starting. That was our big break. So, we put it in the cooler and put it in the back of the trunk and drove it down there. And it was a nice size order, and we sold out immediately. It sold out.
Nice.
So the guy called back and he said, I need something else. So he bring it in and sold out again. And then it kept on going like this for a couple of months. So they called us down to the corporate office, and they're like, you know, we're impressed that your product is moving quite well. We want to move you into 7 other stores, and when you're ready, we're going to roll you out in the Chicago area.
How many stores?
From 1 it went to 7. And then in the Chicago area at the time, I think there was about 17 Whole Foods. So they promised us 7 just to start off with.
Okay.
And from the 7, they said they're gonna roll us out to the other 17. So
are you in all of them now? You in? How many are you in?
We're in all. I think it's the 19 now. 9. There might be a little bit more.
Oh, beautiful.
19, so we're in 19. We're totally in about close to 80 stores all the way together now. But,
80 stores.
About 80 different stores. We're in Pete's Fresh Market. That.
Oh, beautiful. You in Pete's? Which one of them?
We're in Pete's on the west side on Madison. We're in Pete's in Calumet City.
That's Denise happy. Denise happy to hear that because she's a West Sider. She's like, she in the back saying, West Side.
And then, as a matter of fact, recently they just opened a Pete's in Madison that's doing quite well. So,
and you in that one? You in the one in Madison too?
And they just opened a Pete's in Madison, and we're
beautiful,
doing phenomenally over there. Actually, all some of the major of the stores that we have, Evergreen, Whole Foods does really, really well. So there's a lot of us foods that our people are central in. And then quiet as kept. The veganism movement in our community is pretty large, in the Black community.
You know what? I noticed your food in a few stores. Do you attribute some of the purchases with your packaging? The way you package your food, the presentation, that means that's a big deal.
I actually, you know, if we self-critique, and my partner was here. I got 2 other partners that are with me on this. If we self-critique, we'd say that our packaging is not where we want it to be. We're always
and you're still doing well, and the package is not where you want it. That to me, that's how you really become successful, when you're not comfortable and knowing that there's room. That's what this organization is about. How do we grow? How do we repair? How do we restore? How do we grow?
Absolutely.
Black businesses in our community. And so that's very, very humble of you to know that there's room for improvement.
And you know, being exposed, meaning having taken a step into the market. For example, just going back to when I told you about when we were delivering one of the first deliveries. We were going to one of our cars that one of my partners had he had a big old caddy, right? So we going all the way on the north side to a Whole Foods in Halstead, come and pull up in the caddy and pull it out of the trunk. And later on, we find out the receivers like, man, who are these guys, man? They pulling in caddies, taking out food, and completely unconventional, you know. So we were forced. We found out later on the reason they only gave us 7 at first is because there were some steps that we needed to take. We need to get refrigerated trucks. We needed to actually get all our programs, whether it be even the labeling and all that together, to be able to meet their standards. We had to change some ingredients in our products and so forth. So
ingredients like what? What kind of ingredients?
Well, I mean, Whole Foods has a list of ingredients within the ingredients. For example, if you're using they don't want any sugar, or like what's that, corn syrup. They don't want a lot of corn syrup. But there's a list. If you Google it, people can see, people that are interested, there's a list that Whole Foods wouldn't allow you to put in your food. So we had to change those ingredients, and just overall tight. You know, we had to take classes to make sure that we conducted ourselves well as far as the sanitation side of it. And meeting timelines that they have, standards when we pull into their place, invoicing, you know, our communication with them as far as on the business side of it, and so forth. So it forces
talk to us about the business side, because that's exciting to me. That is one thing to know how to produce this product. The other really critical area is how do you maintain the business aspect of it, because that's where we go wrong. And before you know it, someone is calling you in saying this is not working out?
Absolutely. And at the time, and you don't know, because that's the thing about it. The business always starts from a product perspective. And a small business, without the understanding of business, always think the product is the lead, but it's just a component of the business. So as we came in, understanding how to properly invoice, how to keep track of your invoices, because there's stores, for example. How I learned that lesson was we didn't have what we weren't as organized. So I delivered. I knew I delivered it, but when I looked on our check, that invoice was not on there, and I couldn't prove that invoice has been delivered to them. So I had that experience. So I lost that money. Other times we deliver, we just thank you very much and walk out. Don't make sure that you get the signature. Don't make sure that you checked in when you're going and coming out. So later on, there's a dispute on how much they paid us and so forth. You talk to their accounts payable, and they're like, send me the invoice with a signed invoice that says this, that, and the other. So if you don't have it organized, then you out. There's nothing to write. Everything is by your organization. So you learn how to do that, and pricing differences. And when you want to, so many different things come up as you're going along that lets you know immediately. So
have you thought about opening up you would be perfect. I'm not going to mention any names, but you would have been perfect in Hyde Park or in Bronzeville, now Bronzeville, somewhere. With that, hopefully you can go and buy the name of this store called Veggie to Go. Veggie to Go. Because that was in Hyde Park very briefly.
Veggie to Go.
That was I can't think of the sister name because she.
I know who you're talking about.
Right, but they didn't survive.
Yeah,
but because the service was terrible.
It was terrible.
It was horrible.
And there was a lot of I remember that, but there was a lot of internal issues that they had that created a terrible business scenario. So they just collapsed. She still exists, by the way. She changed her name and she moved on. She changed her business name, and her food products are still in stores.
Good.
Yeah.
So you have to do that, and that's why I brought it up, because you said what you said regarding the packaging and where you can see opportunities to tighten up in that area. What can you tell our folks out here, educating them about the benefit of eating this good vegan food? And a lot of people don't really understand the difference between vegan diet and vegetarian diet. I mean, there's a lot of different diets, and then there's some people that have some complications with soy products. So talk about your products.
So we are absolutely no animal products whatsoever in any of our foods. So that would be a vegan product where there is nothing that looks at you or anything that comes out of something that can look at you.
No dairy, no
dairy, no eggs, no cheese, no fish. Just because some people confuse, fish ain't meat, and that's nothing that can look back at you, basically. And any of it.
You gained a lot of people. You lost a few. When you,
I mean,
hey brother.
So just
when you said no meat, you lost a few. But I'm just gonna be honest with you. When I do a cookout for my family, what I found out was that they didn't even know I tricked them. I think, and I had some burgers and some other things. Man, they was eating. They was killing it.
And sometimes, sometimes when it looks, even when we have events where, like, somebody might have a catering thing and we bring in our food, or they ask us to cater one side of it, and people come in with the other side of it. I mean, when it comes down to it, if you look at the color of food, right? When you take away, and even for that matter, if you look at the smell of food, right? All those things are rooted in plants. You understand? The array of colors in vegetation it makes your table. I don't care if you like steaks, but if it don't have all the colorful of stuff that comes around it,
bells and whistles. The bells and whistles.
And then when you go into the smells of it, or even the taste of it for that matter, absolutely, predominantly, I'd say 99% of it is, you got the onions, you got the garlic, you got the pepper, you got the turmeric, you got the oregano, you got all these are plants. So all these are the ones that create that tantalize your taste buds to actually let you know that you're eating something good. So if if somebody that knows how to cook, knows how to cook, and those people would tell you that that's what they use. The only thing I think other people might add to it that they would say that that adds is the grease factor, is the fat factor. So meats, cheese, and all that have a fat factor that has a satiation, mental satiation that makes you feel like, oh, okay, I got something good in my, that was solid. But understanding, number one, that's the very thing that's going to take you out. That should make you question it. But not only that, there's so much, like, if you cook, you got coconut oil, you got olive oil, and these things. One of the biggest things that people hear when they eat our food was they ate our greens. Is they ask, like, how y'all get the greens like this without some type of, like, a pork product, or what I'm saying, how does it taste like this? Because they always thought the pork is what did it, but in reality, all it was the grease from the pork that kind of gave you the saturation and satisfaction for your greens to taste good. So when you take that out and you put a healthy fat like avocado or olive oil or coconut oil, you get the same satisfaction, and without the weigh down that comes from eating all that stuff that kind of that takes, ask your body, it commands so much extra energy from your body to process it. So now you add, we're in a quote unquote first world where even the poorest of person has access to 3, 4, 5 meals a day of accumulating these products that are not necessarily good for you, you know what I'm saying? And then let alone, sad to say, in our community, where you're eating so many processed food, whether it be because of time, whether it be because of cost, whether it be that you're putting these things in your body 3, 4, 5 times a day, putting such a strain on your body.
You know what, brother? And I know Doris would agree, because we are always trying to figure out what is wrong with our people. Why are we responding and acting the way we're acting? Is it, and when you hear that thing, you are what you eat.
Mm-hmm.
Our people have absolutely poor diets. I'm from the South,
right?
Greenville, Mississippi. Came to Chicago many years ago, but what you said is true. We did not think we can eat greens without so-called salt pork.
Right.
Think about that.
Right.
And we graduated with smoked turkey.
Right.
Then folks was like, well, just put some smoked turkey and that will give it another, and people do it, and that's better than pork. But your products, the number one selling product is what? Out of all of your products, which one moved the fastest?
So it believe it or not, is we have a kale green salad. About 5 years ago, kale became a really hot commodity, and all the health things that go with it.
Yeah, because you can't get a smoothie now without
somebody telling you put a kale in. Right. So our particular kale, though, it's like, what I used to tell people, like, you got a cold, eat our kale salad. You wanna stay slim, eat our kale salad.
What vitamins in the kale? What's the number one nutritional factor in the kale?
All green vegetables. I mean, it's high in iron, it's high in vitamin K, a lot of minerals in it, just overall in general. Just to tell you the truth, I can't even recall. That's a good question. I have to actually get specific on the kale, because I know it has quite a bit. The vitamin K for sure, vitamin C for sure, vitamin A, high
But that's
iron.
good. If it has C, and I think the reason
and all the components that take to make protein, so it's good for the bodybuilders or the health nuts, just overall to actually get your body, because it's not so much just the protein, which it does have, but the components that are needed for the protein, as you would see in any of the herbivore animals, the gorillas,
good.
the elephants.
How do you get your macaroni and cheese tasting as good? How do you get
Well,
it
you know
to
what
taste
though,
that good?
I'm gonna have to give that credit to the sisters that work in our kitchen that have a certain touch in their hand that just adds a whole.
That's the black woman,
I
home.
can't, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing I
Let
can
me
tell
just
you.
tell you, that's the black woman that
Absolutely,
touch in her hands,
So
man.
if you ask me what is it that makes it taste good, I said we have a few, you know, golden hands that just bless the food right before.
But look, isn't that deep that someone, and this is when you mention spiritual, someone can use the same products,
right,
same ingredients, and that cake comes out different.
No doubt, absolutely.
And they said, well, I use the same amount as they use.
Absolutely.
And it's that nurturing woman that's like patting the land. It's her spirit.
No doubt.
And that's why we would eat food and we would say, ain't no love in this.
Or when somebody's angry, like, no, I'm good. I don't want to eat that, you know.
Hey, brother, that's pretty wise. Like, no, I'm full. Thank you.
Yeah,
no, thank you.
Thank you. Right.
So you in about 80 stores. And what are you looking at? What are some of your goals as a business right now?
So funny you asked that. So we over the years, we've actually had to bounce from commercial kitchen to commercial kitchen just because we don't own anything. Matter of fact, 3 times actually, we were given like a month to move. You know, just hey,
oh, wow.
You know, sorry about that. We're changing our how we're doing things. Y'all got to go in 30 days. So we went from one place to another, and then we ended up where we are now. And we got the same notice again. Said that we had the guy was he blessed us enough to give an extension for us to find a place to go into next. So we're in the process of trying to acquire our own place. So because we need our own place, and not only that,
how can we help you? Is it identifying the place with enough space, or what does this place need to have in order for it to be the proper, environment to produce the food?
Because since we're not a retail operation, we actually distribute it. So one of our biggest things is refrigerated storage space, meaning we do a lot of bulk items. We package it bulk and put it back in the cooler before it goes out the next day.
Look, real quick before I forget this, how many people do you have employed?
We have total was 12. We're 10 right now. 10 actual employees within the business and 4 affiliates, 1099 workers, 4 other people that work associated to our business directly. So total about 14 people.
Okay. And the store is up to the store to inventory your products, but in terms of like the expiration dates and all of that stuff, you go back to all of these locations to remove products and put fresh ones up there?
Right. So we have it staggered how we deliver to each store, and when we deliver per expiration, some of them might just keep the products in the back when they expire, and then we just refurnish the store for them as far as and then we do have to take the consignment on our products. So we take
I'm very proud of you and our brother that owns Majani's.
Sadakia, correct.
Sadakia, yeah, he's
Chef Sadakia, absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm sure just because he's cooking food, then there's no need for you to have your stuff there.
No, I mean that Chef Sadakia is renowned within himself. If you even suggested that, like, how chefs are borderline artists. So
I hope he's not watching. He's a Facebook friend. If you watching, brother, I just said that just to see how this brother was going to respond.
Absolutely, and we're giving homage to him as well. Sadakia, Chef Sadakia is an old-time friend of ours. Matter of fact, We do an annual. We didn't do it last year because of COVID, but we do an annual vegan festival on the South Side called Taste of Vegan.
Oh yeah, I
And
know. I heard about it. It's
yeah,
big, right?
well, it started off in a small parking lot on a community center on the South Side,
But it
where
grew. It grew.
Chef Sadakia came there, and he was one of the first guest chefs. But then it went to Chicago State,
Right.
and we did it there 2 years, and somehow they changed the dynamics on it. So we went to the Franciscan school on right off Cottage on 49th Street.
You said Chicago State changed
Somehow, the
because I want
contract.
to. Yeah, and that bothers me because if
They
we're not
bothered
gonna
us too.
huh? Yeah, we
It
shouldn't let
bothered us.
Chicago State off the hook. And we need to investigate that, look into that. Why would you move something so powerful, so positive, and so needed in our community?
Absolutely.
Chicago State, and they need all of the
All the help
activity they could get.
Yeah.
So
No
I
doubt.
don't really get that. Are you guys at the Taste? Do you all have your products when they have the Taste or these other big events in Chicago?
No, just because we have our own. Like I said, I mean,
Okay,
we have
and I love it. I love
know.
it. We need our own. We don't need to always participate in stuff that the city, because they have too much control. So if we could produce our own, which we should be doing, that works much better.
And also we control the environment of it, meaning it's a taste of vegan, so, and predominantly Black, which is probably would have changed last year just because it got so popular. But small businesses get a chance to expose themselves that are in that circle. Not only, well, the vegan community is not only just food at this point. There's people that come up with lotions. You got clothing even. So it was getting to the point where we had she's a known person, an influencer as they call them now, Tabitha Brown, that's on Facebook quite a bit, does ads,
demographically, who's eating more of this vegan food? Is it us or is it other people?
So demographically speaking, just naturally, just because their demographic is larger, I would say they are.
White people are eating way more vegan food than Black people.
Just because, and then on top of that,
no. I think that's true, and let's just keep it real. Our people are getting more educated.
Growing segment.
Yeah, our people are getting more educated.
Absolutely.
Our people are beginning to know, and they have some honest doctors who are beginning to tell them that they need to stop eating certain foods, and some people are changing their taste buds and are reintroducing our taste bud to the food that we were born to eat, made to eat. But I asked that question because I know oftentimes our people.
Now that answer is true only in America. If you step out, if you go into international, then absolutely it becomes people of color.
Because absolutely. But in America,
it's a
whole other planet.
Right.
I mean, it bothers me, man, that when folks say, "Man, Church's Chicken got a special," I said, "Yeah, it's special. I believe me, because it's killing you.
Yeah,
you can go over there and get a chicken the size of a couch."
Right, right. For $2. Right.
For $2.
Right.
So it's deadly.
Yes. Yes,
I'm not laughing because it's really, we should be crying.
Right.
Because it's poison.
But the dynamic of the world is changing.
Thank God. Thank God.
Everything is changing, and the change can't be controlled by man. The spirit is moving it. So people that are in the way of the spirit, in the flow of the spirit, are going to grow and prosper. And if you're not, you're not. Just because that's the reality of the power of good is far too powerful. The sun is far too powerful compared.
So an organization like ours,
mm-hmm.
This organization, just divine from God. How can we help you? And I think having you bringing on as you know, I just applaud Denise. Man, I know Denise, she probably emailed you several times to get your information.
She contacted me months ago. I was the
Right.
one that
But
was
let
kind of
me tell you
hesitant.
why. Let me tell you why. Her and Doris and Simon, the stickler part of this thing is we got a lot of work to do.
No doubt.
We got so much work to do. And folks need to know this particular platform is really designed, bro, to introduce our people to businesses, and our businesses reintroduce them or present them to our community. Because a lot of our community, many segments of our community don't even know some of this exists. And so you telling them they can find this food at Pete's, they could find it at Whole Foods. I wish they could find it at Save-A-Lot or Food for Less. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because there are some of our people that are poor, they would love it.
Right.
But they don't see it there.
Yeah. And the education part of it has to kick, just like having a chance to talk about it. More of our people, and then sad, or for whatever you want to call it, but celebrities are starting to endorse it or at least talk about it. So people that would have never heard about it heard rapper so and so that became vegan, or Serena Williams became vegan, and all that. All of a sudden, the word is at least entered in their head. So when we have a festival, or when they see our product, and then before this, we were quite involved with festivals throughout the city. So summertime, people had a chance. And that was one gratifying thing. They see our brand in the middle. In Hyde Park, there's a huge festival in the summertime. I think a Silver Room puts on a festival.
Yeah.
And it's full of, there's two guys, Jamaican guys, grilling, smoke all over the place. And, we were in there. We did okay the first year. We've been with them since he started doing the festivals all the way in the north side. But then one year, it just flipped. We weren't doing as good as they were, but we were holding our own. We were like, they're like, in our, you heard a couple of ladies sipping, they're like, oh, that's so vegan. Let me get it. And then the lines was just as long as theirs. And so
nice.
Those are really the festivals for me. And I'm personally quite involved with the festivals, are huge indicators, especially for our people and the whole veganism concept in general, of how the people are starting to take it. It was a clear, visual sign of how people from all demographics are being affected by this movement, or by this new reality, not a movement, just new reality of how to eat and how to eat to live. As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, so
not how to live to eat, but how to eat to live.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've had so many amazing voices, man, that ended up talking about you are what you eat, and we need to change our diet. Yeah. So what are the messages, and being a vegan, because you've been a vegan since 94.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been that way ever since. You've been on this road.
Ever since.
But I love the fact that you understand business, man.
Well, it was first I understood hustle, and then from hustle it turned into business. Two different things, you know what I'm saying? It's like hustle, but
you love it. You love what you're doing.
I enjoy it very much. Number one, just enjoy working for myself. Number two, knowing that our business has impact in our community.
Talk about that. Talk about how it has impacted our community from your perspective.
Well, I mean, we're on the front line to see people, change their life. We know people that have actually started eating vegan just because we introduce it to them. That's changed their health conditions directly. People that have actually came and said thank you, because now they can get a hold of their health again.
You know what I would love to see your products and if it was a store right next to every place, they got a damn dialysis machine.
Yeah, I mean,
every time. I mean, a dialysis, whatever
center,
you call
right?
it,
The center. Yeah.
It should be a healthy store right next to that, because that's telling.
Absolutely.
That's very telling that
Absolutely.
you see those places in every shopping center.
And I'm gonna tell you this, Brother
Mall.
Gregory. I love that thought, because going against those dialysis places is you're putting us toe to toe with Warren Buffett, and that's the level of that's the level of contention that we should be. We should be, he is so, he's one of the biggest backers of, or he at least invested in the dialysis centers, and
Bad.
to be toe to toe
Bad.
with that would be that we're contending with a economic Bigfoot in the country. So
Between him and Bill Gates, and I don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah,
We gotta have
that's
somebody
all.
else another show. Don't even let me get
Right,
started.
right,
Because
that's
then
all.
we have to bring Doris and Denise on, and then we bring on the Slayers.
Right. Yeah,
So I'm gonna leave that alone for now.
yeah,
But,
let's lead on.
yeah, but I am so proud of you, man. We are so proud of you.
Appreciate it.
And we are so thankful, man, that you took time out your schedule, because it is obvious that you are busy, and I'm sure you got work to do tonight. I mean, it's never
some
easy.
work.
Some work. But I'm glad you have. And what kind of
this
training?
is work, though? I mean,
let me ask you this question: what kind of training do you offer your employees?
Well, matter of fact, we just every year you have to go. The city actually requires you to have a certain certification for sanitation, and just that in itself. And we just are entering a realm where we have to step that up to the higher standards. So, and that's going to require quite a bit more training as far as the sanitation side is concerned. But it just so happens we got great people that work with us. They've been in the whole vegan field for almost all their life, some of them. So they come well equipped. We've been blessed to actually been partnered up.
With the right attitude,
right mentality. Already know the diet, so they can just they got that hand I told you,
brother, because that's so disheartening to me that we would have a great business, but then we have some of our people and we love them, but they misrepresent our mission. They misrepresent our vision. They misrepresent what we really are about, and they mad at the world. And that's why I mentioned training, because that's a big component of success and how people are trained. Then we're having a big deal with this whole thing with you can't train the police, but at the end of the day, the folks that you said, they come equipped. See, that's very telling. They come equipped, but yet you still enhance, other aspects of the job and the industry that they need to be aware of. Is that correct?
That is definitely correct. And also, including with the police, for that matter, what it is that there is a certain type of environment that we had and that what we are about. So anybody that comes in for some reason, even if there wasn't a direct behavioral training, but the environment that we have within us starts molding them. I've seen it change their skin almost, and their attitude about how they do it. So the people that brought in, and I'm not trying to digress about the whole issue about the what you had just mentioned, but if the environment was sanctioned to be of such, then it would attract those type of people, because you wouldn't let nobody else that's not fitting to that to come in. So there's a certain element of disregard for certain. The breakdown is from the side of bringing somebody in. If you let somebody in your house, you pretty much got to know who it is before you let them in. And if you let them in anybody, and then it's on you.
What's interesting about what you said? I could never see a person eating vegan food and then they just throw it on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But you can definitely see people who eating Harold's chicken. And I ain't messing with people on Harold. My mama like Harold's, and they probably just had some tonight, etc. People love Harold's, but I'm just saying it ain't just Harold. So I've picked some other things, but the attitude in terms of people, spirit, and etc. It has a lot to do with their diet. So I think you and others like yourself, man, that's a big endeavor, because you have to continue to market the food. You got to continue to educate our people, and they got to know, because the doctors is not going to tell them, they're not. They might tell them they need to change their diet and they need to, pull back from the table and etc. But I doubt if they tell them that they should stop eating meat and go and become a vegan. I doubt it.
Too much at stake for that.
By the way, just too much money involved. I mean, your employees. Just quickly before we have to get off the air, because I know we have just a few more minutes.
Oh, okay.
Just a couple of more minutes, and I give them to you. We're gonna bring. Hey, can we bring? Before we leave, let's bring on the warriors. These warriors right there, because I'm sure. Simon, can we bring on the warriors? They name stars with a D, begins with a D. There's two of them. Bring them in. Can we bring them in right quick? I wanted them to say something as we close out. Waiting on the producer, Simon, to bring them in. I hope you haven't fell asleep. Our producer, man, it's been a good show, right? That's Denise. There we go. What's going on, warriors?
Hey, Greg.
Hey,
what up?
Good show. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.
This brother is dynamic.
Appreciate you.
This brother is dynamic.
I have watched this brother. He talked about 1994. My daughter was born in 1990, and we were coming in. Yeah, we were coming in soul vegetarian, and the beautiful thing was to watch the people who worked in that restaurant. They were part of a community, and the commitment that they made. And I've seen a number of entrepreneurs come out of that community. And so I know there was some teachings and the sacrifices that were made that enable you to evolve to do what you're doing right now, Eliyahdah. And so I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you. And I've been vegan for 40 years now. And I started eating in that restaurant, and
you started when you was
inspiring.
Years old,
huh?
What are some of your foods in Whole Food? He mentioned he has some of his products in Whole Food. What are some of those products?
Macaroni and cheese, lasagna, barbecue delights, kale green salad. We got a couple of wraps, jerk tofu, jerk steak, unreal chicken salad. We got about 15 different products in Whole Foods.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Do you have any desserts? Do you do any desserts?
Don't bring up the dessert. We trying to
Well, we do have an apple pie and a sweet potato pie, but they're not as of yet.
Apple pie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you need people like to come in and taste it to make sure it's good and stuff like that?
Well, that's why we have the Taste of Vegan Festival. That
I gotta wait on the Taste of Vegan Festival to come.
Go check.
So when do you have the vegan festival? Are you still doing that, and when?
Well, we were until the COVID kind of disrupted it, but it was at the end of August, around the third week of August. We had it for the last 5 years prior to the 2020. And it's supposed to be an annual one. I don't think we're going to have it this year either. And then as it goes on, we partnered up with Franciscan. I don't know what the name of the school is. I forget. But 49th and College is a high school right off the.
Oh, yeah. Hell's Franciscan.
Hell's Franciscan, yeah.
And we're probably going to have it there for some time because it was a great event. The turnout was perfect. It was central for all our people in our community, and it was still in our community. So it was predominantly us. It was good. It was good.
Now, did you mention that you were going to open up another store someplace on the South Side, or if not, is that a part of your plans?
Yes. So we are in the process of working out a purchase of sorts it's in the Beverly area. That's where we're going to be based at. So. We're planning on coupling it with the product that we're doing right now. Prayerfully, we'll have a retail spot, meaning like a little cafe, where you can have directly come and get our products and stuff. So
that's great. That is
great.
Great.
Vegan? Is there such thing as a vegan coffee shop?
Coffee is vegan. I mean, but I don't
like vegan pastries.
We got but yeah, that's why I said the
Because
cafe.
the cholesterol thing is real, and a lot
Yes.
of people are holding back on eating a lot of different things like that because that stuff is killing our people. You
Yes,
know.
sir. Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, man, look, you've done. We need 2 or 3 hours with you, so hopefully you can come back on. But you can't come back without your product.
Well, not only that, but prayerfully,
I gotta have some of your products sitting right here while we're talking, and then you can say, when you mention the macaroni and cheese, I could have the macaroni and cheese up. So
then how are you gonna talk? Because you ain't gonna stop.
No, I'm
light, you know?
in between that. You know, I'm gonna do it like we from the South. We know how to do it.
Okay.
But I mean, thank you so much, man, for coming on RGBC, man. And that's what this organization is solely about: repairing, restoring, and growing Black businesses, man, in our community. And it's very important. And we see you as a great, great partner, because this is a partnership. I want you to know, and we look forward to growing this partnership.
No doubt. Absolutely.
From this day forward.
Absolutely.
And one last question to you. Do you do any catering?
We do catering. Our website is soulvegan.com, and we have a catering menu on there. We cater anywhere from a small. We had one time we had a 84-year-old lady that loved our eggplant parmesan. She wanted her eggplant parmesan, and I believe they had a 84 a male stripper for 84.
No.
So she ate our eggplant parmesan. So that's the most eccentric that we've done. And then also we do to weddings and so forth too.
What do you have for breakfast? Do you have any breakfast vegan? No.
At this point, we just since we're just what do you call it? We're business to business, meaning we put our food in the stores in stores. We just have people that take out food. People have prepared food products, and nothing in the breakfast wise. We've always talked about a breakfast wrap, but when we if willing and prayerfully it works together, when we have our own place, we'll definitely have breakfast there. As a matter of fact, my partner makes probably one of the best. He used to formerly work for Popeye, so he makes this biscuit that for a long time people thought he was bringing it in like his biscuits are rival many. So and we'll have stuff like that for sure in the future.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on our show. It's been wonderful just listening to all the things that you're doing, which are the things that we need in the Black community. And again, we're hoping to grow it, help you grow it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we keep our community sound.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Denise, for inviting me on, convincing me to twist my arm, but I appreciate that.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you
again. We love you, Soldier. We love you.
Absolutely.
We're proud of you
too.
And we support you greatly.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. I'll definitely keep you in mind in any of our endeavors in the future, and we'll let you guys know what we're doing next.
Okay, thanks.
All right, we'll be there. So we're gonna let Doris close this out. All right.
Well, once again, we want to thank you for tuning in to our podcast tonight. Again, we had a great show, and we want you to continue to support us. So go to rrgbc.org and donate and look at our store. We have some really cute things in our store. So we really do need your support and your help. And I want to announce tonight, we have a book club. So the winner of our book club tonight is Alderman Sophia King. And the name of the book is Powernomics by Dr. Claude Brown. And we will be doing this again in the future. So continue to tune in, and you can find out about what we're doing. Again, thank you for tuning in tonight, and go to rrgbc.org and support us. And good night to all of you.